So we're gonna chat data today, and data, hot debate in the tech world. Anyways, we're gonna chat about data today, and you may hear me say it both ways in different contexts. But anyways, we're gonna start very basic, and then we're gonna move into things like MySQL and SQL statements. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in Google Drive with Excel, and we're gonna start from a real-world business scenario. My name is Scott Lemonmones, and I run a lemonade stand named Lemonada. And what I want is I want to be able to track my customers, and I want to be able to track their sales. That's it. So as a systems analyst, this is Scott the systems analyst, not Scott the lemonade stand owner. As a systems analyst, one thing I would do is ask a few questions about the stand. Okay, we want to track customers. What do you want to track about them? Oh, I want to track their first name. I want to track last name. Okay, cool. I want to track exclusive membership. Oh, okay, tell me about that. Well, I have exclusive memberships, and if they have an exclusive membership, they get some discounts on Lemonade. Okay, cool. So we need to track exclusive membership here. I want to track their phone number so that I can call them about, my lemonade truck being or my lemonade stand being available in their city. Oh, okay. I also need to track city. Okay, let's track city. Phone number. We want to do that. I also do email promotion, so I want to keep their email in case I want to send out some marketing stuff. Okay, email. Now, in particular countries, you need permission to you need consent to market uh, due to anti-spam legislation. So we're going to store what's called a flag here where marketing allowed or marketing. We'll just call it marketing, yes or no. So when it comes to sales, we need to track, let's say, date of sale. And as a systems analyst, I may be having this conversation. Okay, date of sale. We're going to track the quantity of lemonade sold and the price per unit. What else do we want to track? We want to obviously track the customer it was sold to. Anything else? Let's keep it simple for now. So given this, how can we model this this in an Excel spreadsheet? So if you're familiar, that should be fairly easy to do, but we're going to take you through that because I really want to show the transition from an Excel spreadsheet into more powerful SQL databases. So I'm going to click Google Drive and Apps, and we're going to go to Drive, and I'm going to click here New, and I'm going to do Google Sheets. So in the tech world, we call these different things here we call them entities. So we have a customer entity and we have a sales entity. So we're going to rename this sheet here. We're going to call this customer. And then we're going to add a new sheet here and we're going to call it sales. So let's add some data here. So what do we want to track about our customer? Well, our client said first name, last name, city, exclusive membership, and phone. So let's make some columns here. So I'm going to add one here, which is customer ID. First name, last name, city, phone, email, and marketing. Yes, no. And let's now add these are the headers, and we can do something nice in Excel like, highlight them with a particular color like that, change their font color, etc. Now, you might be saying, why are we learning Excel if there are powerful SQL databases? Excel sheets and CSVs, comma-separated value files, are still widely used in tech. They're really good for transferring information back and forth in moments. They're really good for doing an export of data to provide to a client, or CSVs can be used between systems for import-export operations, etc. But let's just add our first customer. So customer one, we'll actually add a formula here, which will be equals row, and we're going to call a function called row, and we'll hit enter, and that will allow us to just use the row number as the customer ID for now. I'm going to grab this and just kind of drag it down a little bit. So we're going to add Scott, Monas, Toronto. We're going to add an email here. And Scott is okay with marketing. You'll notice that we're starting to cut off data here. So a nice way to get that to be a little better is doing that. In Excel, you can actually kind of put your mouse here until you get kind of this cross and double click, and it'll expand your rows out. So we're just going to add Jane Smith, Toronto. he does not want to be marketed to. We're going to add Bobbert Alapi from New York. I don't know what New York postal code is, but let's just go with that. No marketing for Bob and Joseph Lakin. And Joseph Lakin will be from Tobacoke at Tobago. And we'll throw a number on here. Please don't call these numbers. Okay. So here is our customer data, and we can kind of highlight this and do things like add borders, and should add a border here. There you go. Add borders, etc. Now we can delete columns by right-clicking and deleting columns. We can kind of sort data by using data here. There's some data menu changes here for filtering, sorting, protecting a range of things, column stats, data validation. These can be very useful in terms of if you're ingesting a lot of data from another system and you have it in a spreadsheet and you want to paste it into Google Sheets and work through some of the Google Sheets tools, we can do that. We're going to name this Lemonada, and you'll notice that there are various columns here, etc. For the most part, these are just text. However, you can actually format certain columns with number, text. You can modify alignment, and this is good for kind of making these a little more visual. So Excel has both the data and there's some presentation aspects to it as well, bolding things. And you're not really going to get that in MySQL databases. MySQL is more so to act just as a data storage and data store. And usually what you'll do is you'll write statements or use programming languages to pull data from a MySQL data store and then display it however you want through a web page, etc. Let's also add sales. So here when we add a sale, we're going to add, what did we say? Date of sale, customer. So let's do date of sale, customer ID, quantity, and price per unit. We'll do PPU. So in doing that, we can highlight that row, give it a fill color, change some of the color up here, and we can enter sales. So we can click this column and format it as, I believe there's date somewhere. Maybe not, I don't know. Regardless, let's enter some sales data here. So customer 2 bought 2 lemonades at $1.50. And we can just continue to enter a bunch of data here as we go. Okay, maybe next month we're already making future sales. Maybe there's pre-orders, who knows. Someone pre-orders 2 lemonades, but we've now gone to $2 a lemonade. So this is some data. Now when it comes to Excel, there are some things you can do with in terms of creating filters, filter views. We're not really going to jump into it too much because a lot of this focus is going to be more so on SQL, but I wanted to show you the Excel spreadsheet and then how that translates. So let's do amount here, which will be a calculated field, and we'll make that white as well. Oops, we'll make that font color white just to be nice and consistent. And we're going to use a formula. So this is the formula bar, and we're going to say equals. And we're then going to reference the column and row. So we're going to say equals C2 times, and you'll see the highlight, times D2, and you'll see the highlight here. And now if I hit enter, we have our amounts calculated. And the nice thing about Excel and spreadsheets is that you can kind of paste your formula downwards. So if I click here and drag, it'll copy the formula, but change the references to the columns. So if I let go here, you'll notice 8 at 150 is $12, and then 2 at $2 is $4 total. And we can kind of continue to build out our data this way. The issue is that this is good for some small data or even copying some data, throwing it in here and doing some filtering, but we get a lot more power when we start to introduce something like MySQL, and that's where we're going to jump to. I'm not going to spend too much time on Excel spreadsheets because we're here to learn some really powerful SQL and some really powerful database tools. So, but this works for smaller places. If you ever have a small shop that just needs you to build a little thing to track, you can do quite a bit with these. You can even add a tab here to generate invoices and have a button. And there are some programming aspects to Excel that you can jump into through things like macros and scripts. But for the most part, this course is going to focus on SQL being used, or MySQL being used as a data store for something like a website, a web app, a mobile app, etc. So I hope this video was insightful. In the next video, we're going to install MySQL and show you how to recreate this in MySQL and show you kind of the benefits. So thanks for watching.